Hi, Joan. Hi, Joan. If you can hear me, would you put a message in the chat that you can hear me? I'm going to unmute myself to do a sound check. Claudia or Joan, can either one of you hear me? Hello? I should put some music on or something. Let me see what music I have. Thank you, Joan. I can hear you, but can't answer. Okay, it looks like you're self-muted, Joan. Thank you, Claudia. Joan, I can't see a way to unmute you either, but it says you're self-muted. I could turn it down a little.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. How did you do that?
Well, this time when I pushed the button, it It went green instead of red. Before I kept pushing it and nothing happened.
That is really weird. I'm just learning this new system, so it's a surprise to me too.
You know, had you done anything at all to change it?
No, so
Weird. Yeah, because when I entered, clicked on and got into this whole thing, it said that I was entering in a muted mode, and I got the impression that that meant I wasn't going to be able to ever talk.
I think they muted everybody when they come in, and then I did go over your mic, but it said self-muted. It says now that I can click to mute. Let's see, Mary. Mary is self-muted. I'm gonna click her.
No, mine didn't say self-muted. It just said muted.
Now see, Mary's won't open now. Jones is still open, but Mary's won't open.
Mine seems to be working now too. Hi, Sharry. It's
Who's,
Claudia.
oh, hi.
Hi.
So, yes, I see yours is green too. That's good.
Yeah, I pressed it and it became green, which it didn't do before.
Okay, great. Can you hear the music?
Absolutely, it's lovely.
This is one of my favorite pieces because when you turn it off, you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
She did this probably 20 years ago or so. Just started with one note, then added another and added another till she had all of them working together.
Lovely, lovely.
Well, it's only 9 minutes till showtime.
I did want to let you know, Sharry, that probably, I'm not sure if it was 20 years ago, but we were looking for a solution for my husband who kept having gallbladder attacks that were terrible, and he was trying to keep his gallbladder. And we found Signature Sound, which you had started, to my knowledge, and we found a practitioner in Albany, New York, and he came to Massachusetts to my little healing room, and he found the missing, as far as we understand, the missing frequency or sound for Frank. And when he was able to utilize it during an attack, everything stopped for good, and he's been fine ever since.
Wow. Was it a note of D or do you remember?
I'm sorry, what?
Was it a note of D or do you remember?
I don't remember. I think back then Tim made us a tape, because it was tapes back then, and Frank has it somewhere, but I don't know what note it was.
Wow. This started like from nothing, from my hearing, and now it's all computerized. It's awesome.
But that's incredible. It's such a great healing technique, and we thank you. And I'm trying to learn what I can, and I really enjoy listening to your webinars. I don't always get a chance to do it, so thank you.
We're going to make an announcement about webinars right when we first. I'll tell everybody now because there's quite a few people here. But we've been banned by Vimeo. We totally got out of YouTube because we used a song that we had the permission to use, and it was the original artist, and we used it. It was about the logical song about how schools really destroy creativity a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Roger, I can't remember his last name, but he was the writer and the originator, and he came on our show and did that song to talk about how they try to make kids all the same and a vegetable and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube told us we didn't have permission to use that song or that artist. I mean, and it was the original guy. They just would not take no for an answer. The guy wrote a letter, attorney wrote a letter, and they still kicked us off YouTube for a year. And so we
That's,
just, well, we're never coming back.
yeah, that's terrible. I know Robert Kennedy, the lawyer, has started a lawsuit against this type of censorship. So, boy, I hope that can make a difference too.
Only the good guys give you all the material so you can make up your own ideas about what's going on.
Yep.
But Vimeo, the article was in vaccinations. Are you ready? And we talked about biflavonoids and people getting tested prior to vaccines to see that they have enough biflavonoids. We talked about Bill Gates' letter to me that was really nasty when I suggested that if we think people are going to have a trouble, let's test them beforehand and see if we can set up something that allows a pretest so these won't happen. And they wrote me a nasty, nasty letter. But they said this against their principles that I was not to put out false information. And the information was from Dr. Blaylock and Dr. McCullough and all of it about how biflavonoids and vitamin C and vitamin D all help. And then people could go to the portal and have their voice tested. And they kicked us off yesterday, and they won't give us an answer. Just, this is not within our guidelines. You've breached fake information. I mean, it's silliness.
They should not have that right. This still, I thought, was America. I'm going to write a letter to Robert Kennedy Jr. and just let him know that this happened to you, because it's just not right.
Well, it's happened to a lot of people. Mike Adams,
Yes.
they knocked him off some spaces. Sarah Westall, they've knocked. We have some questions coming. I have a sister with me who has severe arthritis in her spine and the ankles with me tonight. Looking forward to taking the 5-day class to help her. Well, Joanne, if we can open your mic, maybe your sister can be our guinea pig if you can just hang in there. We have 3 minutes till showtime. What screen are you guys on? What do you see?
Agonizing arthritis.
Okay, so I know where to start. We have some new information for you about arthritis tonight that I think is going to be great.
One of the problems I've had with the internet was I tried to send out information and it wasn't corona information per se. It was observations about what was happening with people, with being segregated because of the coronavirus kind of thing. And nobody got it. I got all kinds of messages back, and they knew I sent them a message, but they never got a message.
Well, we've had to go to Proton, and I read something tonight in preparation for this show that really just makes my hair stand on end, that if you have more carbon dioxide, which is what the masks create, then glyphosate is more active, more activated.
Wow.
So that's been a really, I need to go back and look at it and make sure I read it right, but that's just incredible. That means all this stuff with glyphosate and Bayer, which is in Germany, and making us wear masks when it's really causing problems for a lot of kids, it's all planned. We have to wear masks, but they don't. We have to poison ourselves with CO2, but they don't. Look in the literature about breathing in a paper bag. We used to do this when we were kids. Breathe in a paper bag until you pass out, because it's not good for you. And if it's not good for you to breathe in a paper bag, it's not good for you to have a mask that does the same thing.
I find I can't wear it very long. when I go in some of the stores, if there isn't anybody else in the aisle, I pull it down. I start coughing when I'm wearing it, and my oxygen levels are a bit on the low side to begin with. So I guess that's just making things a lot worse.
Well, they made an exception for handicapped people, and if you've got a pulse oximeter right there and you show it decreases your oxygen, they can't force you to wear it because it's
Oh,
making you ill.
I never thought of taking the pulse ox with me.
Okay, it is showtime. Thank you all for being here. Please close your mics if you haven't already. We were playing music, Sequentia, Sequencia, by Susan Alexandra, and it's your DNA set to music, which is the basis of what we do here at Vocal Profiling. We take information from your voice, which is a holographic representation of your brain, and we look at what's going on by way of math. And math is certainly an expression of your DNA because she has music set to DNA. So we're going to spend about an hour, and if we have time, I'll try to go through the information quickly, and if we have time, I'll show you how to test yourself. And I think we have a volunteer that actually has arthritis of the spine. So if we can get her on, we can actually do a demonstration. So we're being sponsored tonight by the soundhealthportal.com, and that's where it's a self-service station for people who want to test their own voice. We'll be looking at some of that this evening. So wait a minute, this clock is going to go off and I don't know how to stop it. I turned the clock on and then it just disappeared off of my monitors. So I didn't know how to get to it to turn it off. Sorry about that. I'm Sharry. I run the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. This is our building and our beautiful out front tree. It's embracing a flagpole. Isn't that cute? This was built in the early 1900s. We have the whole right half of the building. Right now we can't have visitors, but at other times if you get near, stop by. We have all 3 floors except the basement, which is a gym and a furnace room. But when I'm talking to people, I like kind of to imagine where they're coming from. We have a video for you. It's called Breaking the Sound Barriers of Disease, just me and old stuff. And then Miracles of Non-Medicine, which is the doctors and some of the people we have worked with the show, how providing you sound based on your own voice really puts your body into a state of self-healing. So that's on our site. You can go to soundhealthoptions.com and download that. We also, we put this microphone in front of your face, but this is not meant to be medical. Our lawyers make us say that. So we take about 30 seconds of your voice. And we've been doing this since the early 90s. That's when we opened our door to the public. We published our first papers in the early 80s. And so we found that by doing this, there's mathematical codes hidden within the frequencies of your voice. And this is energy medicine. This is one of about 12 videos that have been done about our work and research about it. We think that as we look at your voice, either in a time domain, which is 1 hit, 1 number, how now Brown Cow would give you 4 hits, or in frequency domain, 2 different ways. We can look at health issues, predictive issues with the frequency domain, and we can test you like we're going to do tonight with allergies, or at least go through it using this nano voice that we've had out since 84, I believe. And we've been able to prove that the state of your health can be found in the sound of your voice. And by comparing people, we found out that people with similar issues have similar vocal anomalies. So we're going to consider tonight the idea of working with arthritis because we have created a computer program for it in the hopes of we can start a bioacoustic center in every community. And that's why our beginning classes are free. They're all on recorded now. And we give you nutrition and muscles. And we're going to be upgrading that next week and actually give you the software that we're talking about for the week, just so that we can help you start that community. I believe, this is my personal opinion, that we are being run over. When you hear people from the podium like Bloomberg say, the only way we're going to balance the budget is to ration old people's medications. That doesn't have to happen. We know the sounds for insulin. You don't have to buy it anymore. We do need some more study, but we're not going to run out of sound. They run out of medication and ration it or raise the price, there'll be a center in your community ready to help you. That's the goal here. We also have a textbook that you can download from our site, soundhealthoptions.com, or if you take our course, you can just download this. There's a small book. There's one that's about 70 pages. There's one that's about 140 pages. So you get the big one when you take our classes, and you just download this stuff. Arthritis has been around, I think, since the beginning of time. This is the Iceman. And they found him, he was like 8,000 years old, buried in the ice somewhere. And these tattoos on their fingers, they figured out, are to ward off arthritis. So arthritis has a shape, arthritis has a sound. Every room has a sound based on its dimensions. And that's one of the weird things about my voice, or my ears really. I can hear the dimensions of a room and sing that back, and the room will echo back to me. My ears are mutated. So from the very, very early ages, and especially the Chinese with their acupuncture meridians, were able to do miraculous stuff without really knowing a lot about the body. They just either sensed it, or it was intuitive, or trial and error. But arthritis and cures for arthritis has been around a long time. And not many people even know that there are 72 different forms of arthritis. One of the most common ones is gout. And we have frequencies for gout. Our record is 16 seconds to take the gout pain away. And from there, we learned that this is a model about metabolism. And arthritis is really a metabolic issue for people. Now, they try to just drown the pain and get rid of the pain receptors. We know it's much more than that. So we know that arthritis is caused by a lack of respiration at the cellular level. Hypoxia, which is one of the things corona does. Reactions to inflammation, particularly prostaglandins. And if we do your voice, and if F and F sharp is really high, there's a lot of prostaglandins, a lot of inflammation, and a lot of fats that are not good for you. A peanut and sunflower, those are all the notes of F2. Inappropriate calcium metabolism, and there's a way we can look at that. Aspartame, which is the same frequency as glutamine, which helps keep your muscles all supple. Glutamate, cysteine, glutathione sensitivities, which is exactly what we said was happening with coronavirus, and fibromyalgia. Lack of pH balance, and you can get pH lists for food right on the internet. You can get little strips that you can test your urine, see what's going on. and lack of energy and methylation, your Krebs cycle, which is another thing we'll talk about, but you can get this information on the internet. I think this is what they're going for with this herd immunity that they're doing with Corona. We just got a complaint from a guy who said they're forcing his kids to take, wait, what? It starts with M, meningitis shots before they'll go to school, and they're trying to convince them that this really is an issue with Corona. Meningitis doesn't have anything to do with Corona. We got the bad guys here giving out the information. Remember, we did this whole thing. What's a good guy? What's a bad guy? The good guy will give you all the information so that you are a thinking human being and you can make up your own mind. We are not pigs to be kept in a sty and fed whatever and inoculated whatever. We are not animals. We are thinking human beings. So the bad guys try to keep information from you. They try to feed you bad information. We just need to know who to listen to. And we have put up a lot of those on our site, who's lying to you, who isn't. So you can also go to Disease Center and look up things like arthritis, and you can look at herbs. There's a wonderful site. It's I will put it in the chat. It says that it's only 5 foods that'll cause arthritis, but it's much bigger than that. It tells you all the herbs for arthritis. It's the best site I've ever found. Health and Wellness Tools.com. And I put it in the chat. It tells you all the superfoods that'll help you combat arthritis and inflammation, really. That's what it is. They tell you what vegetables will cause arthritis. They have tons of references. They give it all to you and then let you make up your own mind. The good guys. This is about rheumatoid arthritis, and there's more osteoarthritis, gout, lots and lots of other things. They tell you about arthritis and what it is. My grandma's fingers looked like this. In those days, and that was 70 years ago, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what made the body acid. They didn't know what to stay away from. And other things going with us, there weren't all these toxins. Arthritis, when you really get down to its numbers, it's a form of toxicity. You aren't digesting things properly, like gout. You take away meat and whiskey and other things that are too acid, and the gout goes away. We can do that with sound. One of the biggies we found with children and allergies, and we actually backed into this. We found out that Roundup, which is called glyphosate, really disturbs something called NRF, like nerf, NRF2 in a human cell, and opens the cell up so it can be attacked. And the NRF2 is causing cells not, well, it helps the cells detox. And the glyphosate retards NRF2. And we have put this in to our arthritis and inflammation databases so that you can go on that Sound Health portal and have your body tested. It also, this NRF2, is part of your immune system, and that's one of the things that glyphosate Roundup disturbs. As for gap junctions, I'm reading this, these papers show how glyphosate significantly decreases the gap junction, which is implicated in the formation of several types of cancers. Stephanie Seneff was on our noon show, a Sunday noon show, and she talked a bit about this and also about how glyphosate, they spray it on crops to keep down weeds, but then they spray it on the crop right before they harvest it so that all the green's gone, and then that soaks into the grains. And so that's why a lot of people we're seeing who have arthritis, even young kids, have sensitivities and allergies to wheat. This is crazy. They know this. They've written papers about it. And they say 5, in this presentation I said is so good, 5 things that cause your body to go into arthritis. And the very first one is gluten. Gluten and gliadin, all the grains, because it creates something called fibrin, and fibrin causes the inflammation, and fibrin is an F, a note of F when we talk about that. They talk about barbecue sauces, they talk about charcoal grilled meats, they talk about the COX-2 inflammatory proteins, and they, on this same health and wellness tools, it gives you a whole list of herbs. Turmeric, you know, you can buy turmeric to cook with now. You don't have to get it in a capsule. They talk about pineapple, bromelain from pineapple. They talk about papain from papaya. Chocolate, dark chocolate. If you really love dark chocolate, the more you love dark chocolate, the more inflammation there is. And as the inflammation goes away, you'll find dark chocolate less and less palatable. So they also talk about proteolytic enzymes, which is back to a digestion issue. Wonderful, wonderful site. We did this study probably 10 years ago, and it was published, I can't remember where, but it was a link between GMOs and health and inflammation and diabetes and gluten sensitivities. We will post a copy of this because it shows that these anti-gliadin antibodies are what's causing these reactions. There's 2 different articles that I want to be made available to people. This is about glutathione, autism, glyphosate, and that NRF2 issue with these kids and autism. They're finding glyphosate in boxes of cereal. So these kids are getting it all the time. There is an antidote. Kids may not like it, but there is an antidote to this glyphosate that's attacking your NRF2 system. And if anybody wants to put up a link to that, that would be great. Broccoli. Glyphosate residue has been found in all foods tested by the FDA except broccoli. The common NRF2, you need the activators, and you can buy these online. Like curcumin, turmeric is an activator, a reactivator, I should say, of this NRF2 protein. Activates it so it protects your cells again. And remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about one of the things this coronavirus does is attack cells that have been radiation damaged. So we have put together a bundle that you can go test, and it's, we call it autism, but it's really about allergies and radiation. Go on a portal, Sound Health portal, and just you can use coronavirus, you can use the bundle for autism, and you'll see where you are against this oxidative stress damage that's coming from Fukushima, cell phones, radiation. And you can't get people to listen because a cell phone is convenient. Quercetin from onions, we recommended that against radiation. I don't know how to pronounce this. Sulforaphane. That's the stuff in broccoli, in green teas. So one of the things, you can buy broccoli sprouts. This is from Mike Adams' site. I don't know how expensive it is, but another thing really easy, you can go to Amazon and buy a little sprouting kit. And this is just good. And you can sprout broccoli. It's a little bitter, sprouted, but it really helps detox from radiation. We have a right to detoxify our bodies. Pretty soon they're going to take the supplements that we need to detoxify ourselves. We can do it by sound. They're going to take sprouting stuff away because that'll help us stay healthy. We have a right to be healthy and to monitor the health of our own bodies. Nobody else does. One of the other things we tested was aspartame. Look at this. It's in vitamins for kids. It's in Jell-O and drinks. Over 5,500 products. And we actually tested Diet Pepsi. We could see what Diet Pepsi was doing to people. It was messing up their glutamate. And the glutamate is what keeps your joints free working. So you're not stiff when you sit down for a few minutes. So watch the aspartame or take extra glutamate. Oh, I'm not allowed to recommend, sorry. Ask your health food store person. This is some gout. The foot swells up, sometimes up to the ankles. It's excruciating. And this is one of the vocal prints. I was looking at somebody's gout, and look at the twist in their vocal print that I was hearing. So we can see these anomalies. Other people doing your vocal print won't be able to see this kind of thing. But gout's excruciating. Even a whisper of wind across the gout is very painful. I have gout. I'm a type A blood. Type A blood people have more gout than others because they don't process proteins well. So we have two different ways to look at arthritis. We can look at it from nano voice, which I'll teach you to do here this evening. And we also have the time domain that we're going to do on the portal this evening. So starting with the nano voice, and we have had this out since the 80s. Google just filed a patent on this. Now, I could go in at any time and show that we actually own this. Maybe we will. But Google is developing it so they can tell exactly, are you telling the truth? Where should we dig for information? Who are you? Another, taking away your rights. I didn't create this for them to take away your rights. I created it so that you could look at what your own feelings were deep down without the oughts and shoulds. So it starts out with a blank slate with 12 notes. And we just did this on Pelosi and a lot of other people, by the way. They see themselves as victims. And each time you say a note, howl now, brown cow, 4 notes would show up on here. So we're going to look at this in terms of, well, I'm going backwards for some reason. Notes of F and F sharp are where you look at inflammation. And B and C both out at the same time, that can be inflammation. You want to look for balance. This is Obama stating that nobody in America is at risk for radiation exposure. I want to say BS. He's not thinking about it. He's not looking at the data. The yellow is really small, and that's data. He's not looking at it for the future. If I say that's what's going to happen, because the red's really small, and that's all about the future and reactions. He doesn't have many emotions here that go up and down. The highest notes are green. He is saying this for a reason, to accomplish something, to manipulate you. He says there's no risk to America. G, the note of G is high accomplishment, high for a purpose. He is saying this, the note of G, which is physical energy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say if he's lying, but I would look at this and say he's certainly doing it for a purpose, not for any emotions and not for any facts. His facts are in the note of F, a plan to manipulate with words. So you can tell a lot about these. And we have probably at least a dozen out of the 400 that we have on Vimeo that helps you explain all of this. And if you want more, we'll set up a class for you. If you have a group or you and a bunch of friends just want to know how to do this better, we will certainly try to make it happen for you. And we look at all these notes, and this is just a flat thing of the same thing. Then we try to give people what they have missing. And this is one of the professors at the college, and it's in the film department, and he had no A. So we gave him the note of A. It did not work. We gave him the note of D sharp, and it balanced everything out. Notes and colors and math all have opposites, and this is a really old one, but giving him A didn't work. So we figured all this out. In this case, giving the guy what he had the least of, which was digestive enzymes, caused everything to even out. And this is the really old nano, but it really gives a good idea that it may not be what's missing, it may be what you have too much of and aren't using, as in digestive enzymes. And when we really look back at all the arthritis we've done over the years, it's enzyme related. And that's what that really good site does, the Health and Wellness Tools. It gives you how all the proteolytic enzymes are related to all of this. When we begin to look at C, that's self, it's also large muscles. Each one of these has muscle divisions and organ divisions. This is available on our site. Here it is, a little better issue. We look for 2. Anything above a 2 means there's a problem. If it's 0 or 1, it's probably nothing. But you can download these from the site and use them. This tells you the red is future, like Santa Claus. A really good character is Archie Bunker, because he doesn't think before he speaks. It's just out there. Yellow, Alan Alda, thinks before he speaks. Green, a farmer, for accomplishment, for something to do. And blue for emotion. So you want to look at each of those when you're reading these things. So fact, form, future, feel. And this is what these demos will teach you how to interpret. We can give you 2 or 3 pieces of information, but you put them all together. Joan, nobody else is complaining that they're losing sound. You'll be able to listen to this. We're going to edit it and get it up for you. Okay, so we start with allergy testing. Maybe you want to know, chocolate is a really good cure. Dark chocolate is a help. We don't know why, for joint pain. So we're going to put up something called a rabbit passage. So you have somebody read that rabbit passage, and it's really simple. We'll give you the article, and you have them read it and then eat the chocolate. And since it's sugar, about 10 minutes or so. And they've read the passage. What you want to see is after they eat the chocolate, Do they have the same kind of vocal print? Is it larger? Does it have more colors in it? Now, in this case, the note of D, the energy of the liver is low. The energy of the liver processing is low, except for things emotional, and they're looking ahead. A lot of future things here. Okay, they ate the chocolate. There's the passage we'll put up for you. And look what happened. They went all inside, all mental, all defensive. The note of D became the highest note. So whatever is in chocolate that's a note of D really caused a change. And we're really looking for the change. And you can do this with turmeric or bread or barbecue sauce or something fried on a grill. See what's causing your reactions. And F and F sharp usually become very unbalanced if you've got some kind of inflammation, prostaglandin reaction. So that's how to do it with nano. Let's open our arthritis file. Let's go and show you a little bit about it, and then we'll ask our guinea pig to step up. So with this, and you can purchase this to have on your computer. There's 2 different versions of it. And we're going to look at time domain. This starts at 0 and goes to 1,000 and something of the other. The dark gray is normal. And when you see, starting at about 100, 150, this one starts about there, and it goes way up and above this gray line, it's a metabolic disorder. It's a digestive disorder. And we're going to look at these peaks and see what's going on with it. This is actually aspartame. This is how we figured out the note, the frequency of aspartame. People were reading the passage, drinking a Diet Pepsi, and then we had them read the same thing so that the thing that was being tested was what they had just eaten or drunk. And this note went off the chart, and it's the same note as glutamate. So we knew there was some disturbance with that aspartame, with the glutamate. And this is what is defining what's happening in the body. This is the detox cycle of your Krebs cycle. And we'll look at that again. It's built into the program we're going to look for. This seems really over most people's heads. It was over my head. I had to do a lot of digging to be able to look at these anti-inflammatories. We need some prostaglandins, like you get a splinter in your finger and it puckers up and with pus and shoots or pushes the thorn out. That was a reaction. A prostaglandin set up a wall for anything that wasn't supposed to be in there. We've decoded all of this, cataloged all of this, put in all of this pregnenolone, progesterone, cholesterol, cholic acid, leukotrienes, the immune system, this all the liver things that are involved. We built this into the program for inflammation and arthritis. NAD, nicotinic adenosine diphosphate, that's a form of niacin that helps the body get rid of all these foreign critters. So these are from a map that I'm going to show you. It's just too hard to there's the map. It's just too hard to understand all this. This is the detox. Arginine usually goes first, then nitric oxide synthase. This is how the body uses its cellular energy. This is how the body repletes its DNA. And methionine and glutathione is how the body uses the resources. So you want to watch this 4 and 5, especially dimethyl and trimethylglycine, because that is what the inflammation really is causing a problem with. All this blue this is all genomes, DNA. And so we've computerized all of this and put it in the computer program for you that will spit out a report. Your brain really is made of math, and they have proven it. This is Brian Butterworth. He has a couple of documentaries out about this. But we are going to switch gears for a minute. We're going to go to something called Audacity. And this is in the textbook that I just gave to you, or said you could download. Whoops, let me make it bigger. We want to take the vocal print here, now, with this. You can download this. It's absolutely free. Everything's in the textbook about how to download it and how to set it up and how to take a vocal print. Okay, I'm going to jump over here. Who had the sister? Joanne, can you open your microphone and let your sister Joanne talk? Or the other way around, Joanne is your sister. Let me try to open your mic. It's open now. Okay, Joanne's sister, what's your name?
Oh, okay. This is Joanne speaking. Hi, Sharry. I actually emailed you the WAV file, but if you want to demonstrate it, her name is Nada. She's right here. She can talk.
Okay, slow down a little bit. Her name is what?
Nada.
N-A-D-A?
N-A-I-D-A.
A-I-D-A. Okay. So have her talk for 30 seconds, kind of slow, about the arthritis, and we'll be recording it. We're using a special phone called, well, we would be if we were doing this at home, a Polycom phone. So you never have to see the person. You can take their print right over the phone. Okay, Nada, I'm going to punch this red button. Here's the timer. If you would just talk about your arthritis for 30 seconds, then we'll go ahead and use it. And any of you can call up your friends and say, give me a vocal print, and do it this way. Okay? Ready to go, Nada?
Yes.
Go.
Okay, hello. I am Nada, and I have been diagnosed with severe osteoarthritis. I originally had it in my ankles and wrists, and this year it came up in my back, and it's in the lower sciatic area, so I had a pinched nerve, and that's how they found it. I've been gluten-free and lectin-free, and also low carb dieting due to a metabolic problem with type 2 diabetes. I have no other plan.
Okay, she's done.
Okay, we got it. Thank you very much. We're going to export this as a WAV, not save it. Export it as a WAV. Let me turn off your mic. Okay. So NAIDA. And in our 2-day course, we give you nutrition and muscles. You can do this same thing with your family and neighbors and say, I need a guinea pig. And you don't have to see them. You can take this right over the phone. So we're going to save this in our Waves 2020. Now I'm going to open the portal, soundhealthportal.com, and we're going to say new person. When you sign up for the portal, I think the first maybe 15 or 20 days are free, and then it's like $20 a month. And it's telling me I'm not putting in the right password. There it goes. So we want a new person. It takes longer to put all this in than it does to actually do the work. So NAIDA online. You can fake your birthday if you want. Would you tell me your birthday or put it in chat? Okay, 12, 12, 12 tells the computer we don't know. I don't know where you are online. Female, and this is the most important part. To go down here and do arthritis, because the computer will help us. Once we choose one of these, the computer will help us do more. We might also want to look at inflammation, but I might come back and look at that. So we're going to save and continue. And then say I want a new voice file, browse. And I want to go to Waves 2020. You can set your computer up any way you want, but this is the way we have it set up in the book. Well, maybe I'll get to Waves. There you are, just double click. And when it gets here, we can say save and continue. Now at this point, we have two choices. We can do a bundle and say I want to do a bundle for, let's see if arthritis is here. No, arthritis. Well, is there one for inflammation? Yes. So this goes in and tells us for inflammation factors, what is the most important thing for you? Not allergies, 0.7, not hear, smell, taste. So it's not something you're bringing in like environment. It's inflammation. Radical factors, and that is radiation. So we want to look at inflammation more than anything. So this is what's causing your inflammation. I don't even know what that is. We'd have to look up. Zinc is very low. That's the same thing that's high and low. When that happens, it's usually a muscle. Elastin, and elastin, working with that fibrin that's caused by not being able to process gluten, the fibrin's not, it's not being broken down. And that's what makes connective tissue, scar tissue. So we'd really want to look at that elastin. What's in the center is down. This is down some. And that's lipoic acid. Lipoic acid works really well with carnitine to help get rid of inflammation. So we can print this, we can make a file for you, we can send it over to you. But one of the things I want to do is go to your report. So let's do evaluations, a new one. This is supposed to take 12 seconds. Good grief. Remember that 200 or so mark, and if it goes up above, we got a problem. All this is inflammation. You see these little humpy lumps? That's inflammation. And where it's really dark, that's the most inflammation. Everything's kind of stuck there. The gray or bluish grid, that's normal, +1, +2, +3. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and -1. This is a -2. So whatever this is, it's down and it's causing a problem. So we want the computer to pull the points. And we could do it right now, what's going on, or we can do it by an arthritis database. So I just pulled the points. Now see, it didn't get that one. I'd like that. So we can add as many as we want. Like this clump right there that's really dark, I want to add that. So I want to say, I want to make that an X because it's just something I want to look at. And so we update all that. We teach you how to pull points. We have a whole documentary on which one of these points you should pull. Now here's the greatest piece. We just have it, let's save and whatever. We just have it general, but let's go look at the template. No templates, you won't get any information. We have about 300 templates that you can choose from. Let's choose arthritis. NSYNC is a bundle about fat metabolism. Autism is a bundle about metabolism and everything that we've talked about with mitochondrial DNA, your cellular information. We just added a bunch of stuff to autism. Anything above 50 is something that you'd want to look at, but we want to look at arthritis and inflammation in particular. Misspell that, and it won't do anything if I misspell it. It's very grouchy that way. So you have 23 hits here, 8%. Inflammation, 19 hits, 11. That's very low to have this serious. Let's do spine, and let's do osteo. Only 8 here, but let's go see what's going on. And the COX, that's an inflammation biomarker. We could go back and see what was actually the highest, but let's just go on, just explore this piece of arthritis. What I love about this is you go up here to the little computer and you say, give me an evaluation. This is so easy. It used to take days to do somebody this way because we did it all by hand with a calculator. Now it's all done. Only 3 pages, that's not enough. It doesn't tell us much of anything. Let's go to, it gives you directions on what's going on. There's your vocal print. I want to go back and look at what else is in there that's really causing this. Maybe digestion, I don't know. But this will usually give you a ranking. This is the first page. And the ranking is chondroitinase, tissue repair. So maybe we should go into repair and what would be connective tissue? Susceptibility to arthritis of the hip. So we would go give you the frequency for this gene. It's low and high, which means it's unbalanced. We wouldn't want to touch it if it was low in its susceptibility. We wouldn't want to touch it if it was aging and it was low. Well, maybe if aging a high, you have to make a common sense. If a pathogen is low, why deal with it? So here's your inflammatory proteins that are causing this. They're underlined in blue, so you can just hit that and it'll take you to a resource of what it is. Protein in humans, cell surface glycoprotein. It's giving me more than I want to go into right now. But instead of looking at this as osteoarthritis, which the computer or our program says it's not, it's telling us that it's an adhesion molecule underneath whatever is going on we need to look at. Okay, there is ice. I don't even know what this is. This was the one that was high and low on your circle. A lysine derivative found in elastin. Amino acid resulting from borderline. We can go help the body straighten this up. The sound. Now there may be a product online that you can go talk to your wellness provider about or your health food store and see, but certainly you cannot go buy the genome at the health food store. We can do that with sound, and we've actually backed off things like Down syndrome by straightening up a gene. But you can look at, here it starts number 2. This is the ranking. So this GAD65, now this is some kind of gluten issue, glutathione anhydrase. It's not able to use glutathione. And that's made of NAC and what's the other one, people, that glutathione's made of? They don't want you to take it directly. They want your body to make it. And NAC is one of the things. I think it deals with your thyroid too. There's that COX protein, it's low, so we don't want to mess with it. Zinc low, we certainly want to mess with that. Get you more peanuts or whatever zinc is in. So you can take these reports and you can see what's high and what's low. Osteoarthritis patient deficient in sulfur, it's low. If we go back and look at this and look at your map, the sulfur is right below this dimethyl and trimethylglycine. So you might see some SAHH, ACHY, or SUOX. All three of those are use of sulfur. Okay, what has sulfur? Sulfurated apricots, salmon. What else has sulfur in it? Anybody want to look that up? You can look that up on all of these lookup things that we gave you, trigger points. So a lot of just sleuthing here as to what is going on. Now here is your COX template. We want to look at anything under relevance yellow. And it's not showing relevance yellow. There it is. That frizzle-related protein. Remember we saw that twice, high and low, dealt with inflammation. One was the genome. And it's also very close to the ISO does, I can't see it to talk about it. But if we were giving you frequencies, we would take these ones that are yellow. That's the most important one. So it's telling us this chondroitinase erodes scar tissue, repairs spinal injuries. That would be one of the first ones we'd want to get you on. Some more inflammation. So when we look at this and we open the templates, and that's inflammation first. So we'd want to take care of these that are high, one that's low. So it's not, these two are the same, it's high and low. So we would want to give you a whole brain formula of that. Exploring arthritis, there's a lot there. Most of your yellow is in exploring arthritis. Nuclear factor kappa, that's part of your immune system. There's that fizzle-related protein again. Nuclear factor, those are the yellow ones. Those are the ones that need to be taken care of first. Don't know where you are, but if you have a practitioner near you, it looks like frequencies would be appropriate, or you take the course and learn to do this on your own, and that's what we want. We want everybody to be able to build that wall in their community for their friends and their family, and even set up a business so we're not under the thumb of lying, chaotic thieves anymore. May get kicked off the air, but they're not telling us the truth. You can see that obviously because there's so many sides are telling a different story. So not everybody can be telling the truth. And we try to give you enough tools to get you started. You have to buy a microphone, a correct one. If you don't, it's just garbage in, garbage out. I don't know what's going on, but the microphone people that we use, they are raising the prices ridiculously. Let me see if I can find microphones on here. Set up a microphone. P-H-O-N-E. We use the Samson Go mic. Let's see if that'll come up. It came up way over here. We are exploring new mics right now, but these mics, this one they don't even have anymore. And all this is in the textbook. They've raised this price from about $39 to $80. And the little Go mic, it was 29 something when we started, and now it's 69. So we are trying very hard. We had some microphones built. They are called MM100, if you can find them, MM100. But it costs about $20 to build them because we gave them the specs and everything. Now they're $147 for a mic that we designed. So somebody wants to keep this from the public. And if something happens to me, there's enough people out there that have the information that this will go on. And I see questions. Let me go to the question session, Jane. Regarding insulin resistance, with the insulin include insulin resistance protocols? Yes, we have 2 or 3 people on insulin by sound, using it successfully, but monitoring it closely. 2 is a type 1 and 1 is a type 2. So that insulin resistance, and we cross-reference it with diabetes, but we know the frequencies. So what was the next question? Joan had a question. Jane, let me look down through here. Joan has a metabolic disorder. Yes, we could look at that. Good choice, Joan. Let's look. So what Joan is saying is that if we want to go back to Nadia online and look at her bio bundles, boy, I don't know how to get there. Here it is. We could look at her metabolic. There's something called a metabolic syndrome that a lot of people with diabetes have, and that's all that weight in the middle. And it'll look at all the programs and tell us where to go. Insulin resistance, there it is. Second is lipoedema, which is fat comes in, but your body won't let it back out. So we can look at insulin resistance and see what your issues are. Same things coming up again. Gastric inhibitory protein. Insulin-like growth factor, that's an important one for diabetes. There's a elastin and a fibrin. So when you see that in there, you're looking at potential for stroke, neuropeptide Y. That goes along with diabetes and insulin resistance and dementia. And that's pretty high. We need to get that in order. Okay, other questions? Another Joanne. Broccoli, onions, garlic. Yes, Joan. What about multiple sclerosis? Will that break this down into nutritional needs? Yes, it will. And we have backed off multiple sclerosis many times. We have posted one of them online. It's under a girl, Jeline. Even her eye problems came back. She was able to see straight and with color within about 15 minutes. Joanne says they removed her thyroid too. We should run her through thyroid. We don't have time, but if you want to set up an appointment with a practitioner that's online with us, you can call the office and you guys can play and have a good time. Any recommendations for tinnitus? Yes. Actin, myosin 7, and potassium has been the 3 common things that caused tinnitus. Potassium is a D sharp, actin is an E, and I think myosin 7 is a D. Actin makes the hair follicles grow back, and myosin 7, I forget what it does. We wrote a paper about it. Write to Jessica at Sound Health Info and ask her a question about it, and I'll try to dig that up. I want to send or have a friend call in for tinnitus. Okay, it takes a long time for the actin and the hair follicles to grow back, sometimes about 6 months. You have to stay on the sounds. But the lady, one of the profiles we have, her name is Romola Hopkins, and she had a tumor removed from behind her ear that was causing problems, and it took, she was deaf in that ear. it took about 6 months to grow everything back. And she had this done at the Mayo Clinic. And we took her back to the Mayo Clinic and said, hey, look what happened. And they accused us of bringing in a ringer and saying that wasn't really her because she was deaf in that ear. What were we trying to prove? I think we are so Star Trekky and well beyond where people are going that people just don't believe it until it happens to them. Like the pain goes away. My arthritic pain goes away with a frequency of carnitine. It's a note of E. And I should have known because I was craving pineapple, and that's one of the things that you're supposed to use for this. I did get some nattokinase. That didn't help. Turmeric, I've been putting turmeric on my eggs and everything, but pineapple and turmeric takes my pain away. And my pain is from, I fell off a 2-story balcony and broke 3 vertebrae. I'm lucky to be alive, much less walking and running and whatever I'm doing. But I did it all with sound, and the sound of my voice guided me to what I needed. Thank you, Mary. And we want to give this away enough so that people can start a center of their own. I believe freedom matters, choice matters, and that's what humans need to create hope. Without freedom, without choice, there is no hope, and that's where we are right now. And if you can create a center that will provide hope to your neighbors, we're on our way to getting well. Terry says, I missed so much of this. Is it being recorded? Yes, all this is recorded, and there'll be 3 articles with it. The rabbit one, can't remember the other 2, the one about GMOs. So they record this, we edit it, we try to get it up by the next morning. This is an amazing story. Well, thank you, Cindy. You know, people interview me and do an article or a book, and they say, what do you want people to know? I said, I went to a 4-room schoolhouse. They jerked me out of 8th grade to teach 1st grade when the 1st grade teacher got cancer. So I had no education in the 8th grade at all. I drowned in college, in high school, but I got a straight 4.0, and I graduated summa cum laude from college. I created a new system of wellness. I lived in a corn crib for many years. And if I can come from that kind of background in Appalachia with just an idea, all the rest of you can too. And if we all put all of our ideas in one pot to make this better, we rule the world. What's the best way to apply the notes? With sound, with color, tuning forks, they are an exact note. And most people are in the middle of the road note, but it's certainly better than nothing. Music, singing, running up and down the scale, singing. See if I can do this without disturbing anyone. Just blow air between your teeth. Can't do it without choking. Until you put your teeth together and they begin to vibrate. That vibration of your teeth vibrates your skull and then begins to vibrate your whole body. That's one way. Another way, we have an article called If You Can Moan, You Can Tone, and it teaches you to do your own tones that come to your ears. That's the perfect sound for you at any one time. Think about this. We have proven that we can change the body using math. Does that mean we are math-based? Does that mean we are carbon-based robots? I've put the energy out there. We have the articles about why people are math-based. And I think once that catches on, our maker is going to appear and tell us who and what we really are, because we've been looking for that for a long time. Mary says, you're so inspirational. Well, thank you, Mary. And thank you again for the hopeful message here tonight. In these times, can we clone you? Well, I hope. I'm trying to clone me by teaching all these classes and allowing everybody. Yes, Joan says a pitch pipe would be great. Do the sounds that your body likes. Listen to the music your body likes. Even if it's just around. One of those sounds will make your ears ring. That's your sound. That's your otoacoustic emission. I see it's 8:35. I got everything in. That makes me happy. Remember, you are not a herd. You are a thinking, conscious individual that wants to make choice. And that is your right until our master does come along and we see what it's really about. We hope all of you will join tomorrow to get some of these articles and let us know. Do you want another class about just teaching you about how to test chocolate? On Vimeo, there's a lot of demonstrations, but if you or a group want another, let us know. Well, there's more classes. There's a 2-day class coming up. We have a class we did 2 Saturdays ago. It's on our site. It's all about coronavirus. And I just did a new corona article. If you can forgive me for keeping you over, let me see if I can find that corona article. That is not it. Don't save. But we found something that I think is absolutely incredible. If I could just remember where I put it. I will go look on my email because I think that's really, really important that I show you this article. It blew my mind. So I'm going to look at crop circle. Oh, there is a link to it. I'll put this in the chat. This is on our site. And when we first started doing the stuff about corona, we said, we're not going after corona. We are going after your cells and protect your cells, because this will just keep coming unless we start protecting your cells. So we gave out the frequencies. Those are on our corona page, and they've had to put it under, this is our secret page. So if you see that, that's where all this corona stuff is. So in England, there was a crop circle, and this was like August 31st. I mean, this was recent. And the people said, well, let's look at this crop circle. This is enlarged. Let's see what's going on here. And within 20 miles of this crop circle, another crop circle appeared with 10 circles. And this is a hydrocarbon. And I decoded it. And it came out to be, well, somebody else found out what it was, but there's more to it. C10H22, 2,4-dimethyl-3 isopropylene pentane. When I looked at it and decoded the numbers, it was exactly like something else that we already knew. Now, this 2,4-dimethyl, it's an antiviral, and that's been put out by the government. So it also is identical to a mathematical equivalent of cytotoxin T lymphocytic antigen 4. That's an antiviral for AIDS and other things that they couldn't break down. Now, one, it's incredible that a crop circle could depict a pathogen that threatens the earth. A potential antiviral hydrocarbon circle nearby gave us an antiviral that could be used. Now, I don't think anybody's using it but us, but I'm going to give you the frequencies here. That the hydrocarbon indicated by the crop circle could be identical mathematical properties to a member of a known immunoglobulin superfamily, this cytotoxin T, and look how big this crop circle is. This particular CTLA management regulates our T cells. And here are some of the numbers that you can use to look at this. There's some pieces missing here. One is, this is the biflavonoids on the bottom. The middle one is, I can't remember. Oh, on our site though, it gives what these are. But A side and a B side, and this is the generator you can use. Now this is a digital generator. It's not good for regrowth of leg bones or whatever. This is good to kill pathogens. We also have music that they can download. Note that when we put this music out, it wasn't 2 weeks until MIT and Carnegie Mellon put out music for this. And 6 different people have filed patents on this work. They can't. It's already been proven to be mine. What is this one? An actual BioAcoustic biomarker bundle. This is some kind of link. I don't know if this is the one that Vimeo tore down, but here it is. We have a wonderful webmaster that's trying to put all of this up. We also were able to equate it to 5G. We put out an article in 2000 in Nexus magazine of pathogens and exactly what happened. Then we put out another article in August of last year about how this was going to attack the iron and the lungs. It's exactly what happened. Nobody is paying any attention. That's my fault. I thought, build it and they will come. Nope. I built it. It's sitting here, available to people, but I didn't convince people that they needed us. We can do miracles. Watch that film that I just put up. Yes, that one file we got kicked off Vimeo. I think it was inflammation. Are you prepared? They didn't kick off our coronavirus. Well, Eugenia, come on down and take another class. We have textbooks, we have videos, we have tutorials, we have live classes. Whichever way you learn, we try to accommodate. Well, thank you, Mary. She said I could go overtime. A lot of people complain when I go overtime. They have planned their day and I am disturbing it. Here's some of the information about those 2 hydrocarbons that are antivirals. This information was very, very hard to find. I can put this in the chat if you think it would hold it. Okay, and there is a way that you can save chat because we are going to shut down. I don't exactly remember where it is. I think you go to File, End Webinar, but there's a place to save chat. Does anybody remember? Options, ask questions, raise hand, view, recording in progress, help. I don't see where you save chat. It used to be 3 little dots, then they changed that. How about under chat? Is it there? Text directions? No. Save chat log. Where is that? Where'd you see that, Kathy? Save chat log. On top of file. Click here on top of the file. Paste, delete, save all, undo. I'm thick, Kathy. I need better instructions. File at the top. File. Save chat log. There it is. We'll have it. We'll try to put that on with the, let me change its name to arthritis. ART. Oh, that's good enough. We'll try to put that up. Thank you for being here. I get excited. I love sharing all of this stuff with people. I love their ideas and what's going on, how we're all going to use this.